You can't fix someone that won't show up emotionally. So why do you keep on trying to fix her, bro? There was this one girl that I met through a friend. Her name was Danielle. She was beautiful. One evening, we were on top of one of those red double-decker buses, the ones that go throughout London. I was carrying her home. Her house was like an hour or 2 hour journey from mine, but I wanted to be chivalrous. I wanted to be different. In my mind, I thought effort equaled love. She told me that she was going through a lot emotionally, and so I tried to be there for her. I thought if I carried her burdens, eventually she would open up more. Eventually she would want more from our relationship. And I remember looking up at her and saying, I really like you. If there's anything you need from me, I'm here. And then she smiled and looked at me and said, you're a really nice guy, but I'm not trying to get emotionally involved with anyone. But you see, that didn't match her actions. She would still kiss me. She would still give me hugs. She would still act as if she wanted me. She kept me around, but at an arm's length. After months of confusion, mixed signals and all that faff, she ended up going back to the toxic relationship that she was struggling with while she was speaking to me. And there I was left looking stupid and having my time wasted. Looking back at it, maybe she wasn't ready. Maybe she was going through a whole load of different things. Or maybe she just wasn't interested. It doesn't matter. I've learned this. It doesn't matter what you're going through emotionally or physically. I will no longer spend my time or give my energy and effort to a woman that is not emotionally there or not emotionally present, because it makes me feel stupid. It makes me waste my time. And if she's stuck in her past, that's not for me, because I'm looking towards my future. You've got to move on from emotionally unavailable women. Look, the main problem with many of us men is that we don't have many options. So what happens? You find a woman that's not emotionally interested in you, or she's not emotionally available. But because you're stuck in this scarcity mindset, wondering, if I don't get this woman, if I don't keep this woman, then I won't have any other woman in my life, that you become so scarce and you try not to lose her. You force yourself down her throat, despite the fact that she's so obviously there, not giving you the attention or the validation that you're seeking. Then what happens? You end up looking like a fool after 6 months. She goes back to somebody else and speaks to somebody else because you're not the person she wanted. You think love means chasing her ghosts. You're stuck in this emotional masochism where you hurt yourself trying to come and fix her because you think that's something that she's going to like. And once you go and fix her, that she's going to want you. Stop being stupid, bro. When you seek emotionally unavailable women, what do you think happens? Do you think she's going to be happy that you saved her? You've got this mindset that you're stuck with, and you probably got it from your parents, because I got it from my parents and the way they treated me and how they brought me up, thinking that if I did something right, if I fixed something, then maybe somebody would see value in me. You can't fix somebody's broken past and expect them to love you. Their broken past is something only they can fix. And if you get so intertwined and so entangled in somebody else's psyche, that's when you become lost in their identity. You begin to merge your identity with their fragmented ego, and you become something that's indistinguishable from them. Their problems, their anxieties, their depression, you take those on. You become a part of those things. I remember with my ex, when I took on her depression and her anxiety and her issues, I, for the first time, and I've never been the type of person to become depressed or anxious, became depressed and anxious. All the problems she had, I took them on. You can't take on somebody else's problems. You can't fix somebody that doesn't want to be fixed. They have to want to fix themselves, bro. You've also got to understand, and don't be manipulated by this, is that emotional unavailability isn't a phase, it's a choice. Stop making excuses for it. If you have a low level of self-esteem, or if you haven't gotten out there and dating, it's so easy to make excuses. Because why? Because you want to give somebody the benefit of the doubt. If somebody that you're interested in is telling you that they're struggling mentally, emotionally, you want to be nice. I know you're you try to be morally correct as much as you can. Maybe you haven't been the best person in your life, and so therefore you mentally degrade yourself to allow people to have the upper hand on you. But don't do that. You should never make it your responsibility to be anybody's caretaker or therapist. Emotional unavailability isn't a phase, it's a choice. When somebody tells you that they're emotionally unavailable, it's not something that they're going through in the moment. Because I can guarantee you that if that person met up with, I don't know, Chris Brown or Michael B. Jordan, or for you, for example, if you saw Jennifer Lopez, you think you would be emotionally unavailable? No, you would change. You would become the perfect person for that person. People go for what they want. People put in effort and time for what they want. So if they're not putting effort and or time into you, they don't want you. Emotional unavailability isn't a phase, it's a choice. And if someone is not choosing you, you've got to learn to move on, bro. One of the things I dislike so much, and I used to do this myself, but I've made it a point of contention to have such a level of self-respect for myself that I will never listen to silly words like that. I'm the most important person in my life, and if somebody considers that they're emotionally unavailable, or they're giving me the go around, or they're confused about what they want from a relationship or what they want from something that we're trying to do, I'm moving you out of my life immediately. My body actually kind of regurgitates the fact that somebody is trying to play games with me. Why would I let somebody waste my time, my energy, my effort, and my resources? Look, I'm a man and you're a man here, and we're both men that desire respect, recognition, autonomy, and financial independence. Do you think you can build with somebody that is in completely two different states of mind, that doesn't know what they want? You know that you're destined for more in this life, bro. But one of the biggest things that you need to step away from is this trying to seek emotionally unavailable women that don't even know what they want to do with themselves. It isn't your job to fix them. It isn't your job to help them figure out whether or not it's a phase or it's a choice. Because quite frankly, you shouldn't be doing that yourself. If you're confused yourself, you shouldn't be dating. Unless you have your mind consistently on your shoulders and you understand where it is you wish to go and where your navigation is pinned towards, you shouldn't be playing any sort of games like that. You don't have time. You don't have the resources. If you want to become a man that's successful, that's powerful, that's respected, that's recognized, that's got everything that he wants in this life, you can't settle for less than what you deserve in this life. Because if you do, then life will pass you by and you would have accomplished absolutely nothing. Another thing as well is, if she can't be vulnerable with you, she's not the woman you deserve, bro. Vulnerability is one of the most biggest things in any relationship. And I'm not just saying this from the woman's standpoint, I'm saying this from your standpoint as well. I've always said to myself that, we have this stigma around men being vulnerable with their women and whatnot, and it's not masculine. Trust me, bro, if I'm going through something, I'm going to let my woman know. Yes, there's certain things that you should deal with yourself, and I completely understand that. But if you're dealing with something that's emotionally damaging you, you should be able to discuss that with your partner. And especially with your woman, she should be able to emotionally express how she's feeling. If she's unable to emotionally express herself, if she closes herself down, it's not your job to be her therapist to try and fix her and try to understand. I've had guys that have said, oh, well, yeah, she's just like that. I know how she is. I've known her for years. I just understand her. Why are you being somebody's emotional puppet and trying to justify their own childish immaturity for how they act? That's something that will hold you back. Simply trying to be there for somebody else in a way in which you don't need to show up as. You don't need to show up as Jordan B. Peterson for somebody else. You need to show up as yourself. And I create these videos for people that want to become high achievers, people that want to see a different version of their life. How can you expect to see a different version of your life if you're sitting around babysitting a grown woman? You're a grown man. You shouldn't be babysitting people that are younger than you. You have the ability to make children for that exact reason. If you want to babysit a child, have a child. But the people that are around you should be emotionally dense, emotionally mature, be able to speak how they feel about things. And that doesn't even just go for your relationships with women. That goes for your social relationships. People should be able to be vulnerable and speak about how they feel. That's the strongest common denominator of intelligence and maturity. Being able to speak about how you feel. You've got to also understand as well, bro, is that you have intuition. It's not just a woman thing. Your anxiety around her silence is your intuition. Don't ignore it. Every time you think that there's something wrong, every time you get that little feeling in your stomach that something is not right, that's your intuition. Don't ignore it. Whenever you have conversations with her, she's like, oh, well, I'm not emotionally ready for anything yet. I'm confused. I'm not too sure what this is. Run, bro. Whenever you get something in your chest or your stomach that doesn't feel right, and you're not in a relationship with her, and she's telling you, she's giving you the go around, and she's telling you that she's not ready, she doesn't understand what she wants or what she's doing, but she's showing you a different side of her. She's giving you intimacy, she's kissing you, she's hugging you, but her words are saying something else. Believe what they do, not what they say. And if your intuition, if your stomach is telling you that something is wrong, don't ignore it, bro. One of the things that men do is that they dumb down their intuition. Life is hard. You get beaten up and down by life and you forget your intuition. because you try and force yourself through life with your self-projected hatred and your unhappiness. You forget about your intuition. But your intuition, that sinking feeling that's in your stomach, and I know you felt that before, bro, whenever you felt like you've been cheated on or lied to, don't ignore it. Your intuition is something that's trying to tell you that something's not right. And if something's not right, believe it the first time. Don't gaslight yourself into believing it's not real. Stop blaming yourself for her woes. Her unavailability isn't your fault. One of the things that comes with this emotional unavailability is that you might feel like it's your fault. I've had conversations with women that have claimed to be emotionally unavailable. And one thing they'll always say is that they're emotionally unavailable as a result of what's happened to them with men in the past. Maybe they've been cheated on. Maybe something's wrong that's been happening in a relationship. Maybe they've been lied to. Maybe they've been shown something else from what they were shown at the start of the relationship. And it's so easy to bring yourself down to the rabbit hole of blaming yourself that all men are the same and that it's your fault. Well, you're not the same. You're not that man that she dealt with. And it's so easy, like I said, to go down that trap in making it your fault, in trying to synonymize yourself with what happened to her by saying that because I'm a man, it's my fault. And so therefore, you become patient. You slow down with things. You take on certain bullshit that she tells you because you feel like it's your fault. Don't ever reject yourself and bring yourself down to that level of low self-esteem, that you would bring yourself down and self-deprecate yourself for somebody else's actions and how they cause somebody else pain. You didn't do that. Stop getting involved with people that have pain in their past and wish to push it on you because they haven't healed. They should go out of their way to heal themselves first before finding it or looking for a new relationship. Bro, stop involving yourself in emotionally unavailable women. It doesn't help anybody. Your life is supposed to be something of prosperity, growth, strength, and understanding, community, happiness, growth. But it won't be if you get with women that can't support themselves and thus won't be able to support you. Emotional unavailability isn't a phase, it's a choice. If someone's not choosing you, they're choosing against you. They're choosing somebody else. Don't put yourself in a position to succumb to stupidity. You're much better than that, bro. And remember, never forget who you are.